Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 223 of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Guru of Sports. Today is Father's Day. This is June 16th, 2024. I know I wasn't with you last week, but this has been really special for me for the last 3 weeks or so. My son Caden has been down from college, and he's just been hanging out with me, and I really really appreciate his company. Just like right now, we were supposed to do the podcast together, but he's in there asleep, so I can't wake him up. And the kid is working really, really hard, and doing his thing, and spending time with his girlfriend, spending a lot of time with me, and I really appreciate that. Well, like I said, today is Father's Day, and I'm not going to hold you too long. I just want to say a couple things about Father's Day. This is a very special day for me because some of the best Father's Day I've had was with my boys, my two boys. And I just want to say thank them for, always, thinking about me on Father's Day. The oldest one really don't live, close to me. But, I know that, he gives me that respect, and he gives me that, that love and nod to where he'll, make the phone call and, always, catch me at the right time where I'm able to catch the phone call and I'm not doing anything else. But usually on Father's Day, I don't do anything. Today is a special day because we're going to go, me and the youngest one are going to go down to Baltimore and catch the Phillies and the Orioles, which is really cool. But on the way down there, we're going to stop by and see my dad for a little bit and spend some time with him. That's like one of the things I always thought about. What happens if I get older and I have a kid or I have a couple kids, and then, be able to, spend time with my dad. That was like the, one of the greatest things I can think of. There's a few things I wanted to say about Father's Day too. I always try to teach my boys four little things that I want to, go over: honesty, integrity, loyalty, and respect. Respect in the way of respecting laws, respecting the community, respecting, me personally. I've always talked to my kids, my sons. I keep calling them kids because, I still look at them as kids, more or less. But they're grown now. And respect-wise, they've always respected me. And I've always been lucky enough to have two boys that are raised up in the image, in a way, the kind of image of me. But like I said, I don't want them to be a clone of me. I want them to be individuals. And I want them to do things that they feel as though is right. Because like I said, my thing was just to guide them through the hard times and guide them through the youth years and try to be a very, very good positive image for them to see. Loyalty to your causes, whatever you're doing, education, being able to, be able to learn, be able to go in and basically get the knowledge of education and let that take you farther than where it took me. I've I went to college a little bit and I didn't finish or whatever. But both my kids are in college, which is really good. Dante is already graduated and he's already out in the world doing his thing. And he's married now, which is a good thing. And I'm proud of him. Caden is working really hard and he's going through college. This is his first year and I'm so happy for him. And, he's doing his thing, which is a good thing. Just having to, and integrity, just have the integrity of being able to be respectful and being able to be loyal to yourself. Just have some kind of integrity about yourself. That's the one thing that I always thought that, these two would be able to have. And like I said, I don't take any credit for this. Believe me, I don't take any credit for what they do. Because, one, they have not given me a situation or a reason for them to be worried that they're not doing what they're supposed to do and they're always doing the right thing. I'm not going to sit up here and brag about my two boys, but I know one thing. I know that they will be, honest, and they will have integrity, they will be loyal, and they will have respect. When they were younger kids, I always taught them those four things. And I'm going to finish up with honesty. Honesty, just be honest, Have the respect to be honest to yourself, to yourself, to me, and to laws, and to the, society. That's one things that I always taught both of them to be respectful to society. Not going out there, being like hell on wheels or whatever, but, just doing the right thing. Respecting laws. Respecting, other people's property. Respecting people. I try to teach Caden this because he's the youngest one, that the world out there is very, very, is vast and dangerous, more or less. But just being able to have honesty, respect, integrity, and loyalty, you'll go far. I do worry about them. I worry about all of them. I worry about both of them. And that's one of my jobs that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to worry. Like I was telling Caden a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple days or weeks ago or whatever. Dante has been flying and, on a plane and traveling and everything like that since he was like 8 years old. He used to, live out east and he used to fly back and forth, and I told him, I said, well, I was worried. I was always worried about what happens if he, didn't get on the flight or if he got lost or somebody, might have, mess with him or whatever. I've always been like that. Caden hasn't been out there yet, more or less out there yet. But I'm definitely going to be, worried about him because he's the youngest one. And the youngest one, I think parents worry a little bit more about the youngest one. The oldest one you don't have to worry about because they know what the things are, what's going on out there and everything. But, like I said, I'm a father. This is what a father does. He worries about his children. He protects them. He worries about them. And he basically, when it's time for them to move forward and get, be older and move forward, you always have that time that you think about when they were younger. Father's Day is not just for men. Father's Day is also for mothers that serve as fathers as well. I always thought that the strongest women in the world were the women that serve as mother and father. I know it's, physically not possible for a woman to serve as a father, but the thing about it is that they have to, because they're on their own, and they have to basically just be the mother and the father in that household. I give women that serve as fathers a lot of respect. Not just saying that just to be saying that. I lived without my father, so my mother had to take up the slack and be like a father. For years, Caden's mom was the same way. For years, Dante's mom was the same way. This guru, she served as that as well. I know a lot of mothers that are single parents that have been serving as mother and father in their household. But you got to give them respect. You got to give them respect. All right, so, I try to guide them in education and try to make sure that I'm there for them in every single way that they need me. There were several times where it was one time where I was, when I was really young, I think I had Dante at 26, and I remember one time when he was in school, and he was kind of like acting up, but then again, it was like, I had to go in and, visit the school and everything, but the teacher grabbed me and we walked down the hall. I'm gonna make this short story. We walked down the hall, we, went to his room, and, she was out of the room, and then everybody, all the kids were like, just talking and conversating, and who did I see standing on the desk? No other than Dante. And he said, turned around and saw me and said, "Oh, hi, Daddy." And I was like, oh my gosh, this boy's going to be crazy. He's going to be a clown or something like that. But Dante, I always thought that was going to be that the intellectual one and an intelligent, very, very intelligent one. But he's very, very intellectual. He's very intelligent. I got to say that. Now, Caden, on the other hand, when I got a little bit older, I actually went to his school, and there's this one picture that I have of him where he's holding up a bag, and he's standing in his classroom. He has on a Superman t-shirt, and he said to me, "Hey, Daddy, you want to share lunch with me?" And I said, "Nah, buddy, you go ahead and eat." It was green pepper strips that was in his bag, and I remember that. That was like really, really cool. And it was funny because like his teacher at the time was Mrs. Schumann. I remember that, and he basically just told me that, hey, I can come sit in the room, and I can, I was basically like a student for a day, which was kind of cool. But the thing about it is that, I've always tried to make sure that I, did spend some time with them in school. Made sure that I had the time, taken out of my, whatever I was doing, I wanted to make sure I was always there for them. And I have been. I've always tried to be there for them. Even now with Dante being, he turned 35 a couple of weeks ago. Now, I don't know if it's just me, my age, or what, but, it's like I actually thought he was turning 34. And, this is one of the traits that my dad has with me as well. Because he always, my dad, he's up there a little bit now. And he can't remember birthdays. He said, hey, I can just remember mine. But, I tease him all the time. I said, hey, look, my birthday is this day. He's like, oh, I thought it was 2 days ago. No, but, just joking around. Like I said, my dad's still here. And like I said, we're going to visit him a little bit later today. But, it's just funny because, just going back and looking at some of the things that I can remember about my kids is that, they always made me proud. They always made me proud, and I will never, never ever forget the times that, I had to go to school with them or spend that time with them. It's really special to me. One of my favorite Father's Day was, actually, there's two. The first Father's Day that me and Dante spent was on Father's Day back in 1989. I was still in the Navy, and I had just came home from Chicago. I had a training course up there, and that was kind of cool because I did get a chance to go to a couple of baseball games while I was in Chicago. And she gave birth while I was in Chicago. And she called me and told me that, and I said, well, I'm sorry that I couldn't be there because I was on the plane and, going to Chicago. So when I got back, it was Father's Day. And that was the first time I met my son, which is a good, a wild thing. It was really, really wild. But, that was the first time I met my son, was on Father's Day. Going forward in years, one of my other favorite Father's Day was going up to Yankee Stadium and watching the Yankees and the Detroit Tigers in Yankee Stadium 2015. And, it was cool because Caden had never been to Yankee Stadium, never been to New York. So that was the first time I took him up there. Now, we've been to New York several other times. And like I said, he went to New York this year. And like I said, being a father, thinking about the young one, I was worried. But he handled himself pretty good. It was one of those things. He's respectful. And both of them were very respectful. And I just really appreciate, them moving forward and doing the things that they need to do. But I'm going to stop rambling on here. But like I said, I just wanted to give you a few minutes of my time to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. For my dad, my only uncle that I have left in this world, I wish them the best Father's Day of all. My brothers that have children, I know that all my brothers have children. And one of my brothers had one child, or he has two children, but one of them is no longer with us. So it kind of hurts him every time that Father's Day come around. So I make sure that I always, give him a call and, try to, say something to cheer him up, because I know that, he's always hurting inside. He's been hurting like this for a long, long time. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you guys for another great episode. I know I'm not going to talk any sports, even though that we, the Stanley Cup, the NBA final, uh, Caitlin Clark. But I do want to mention one thing. My condolences go out to Jerry West's family, his wife Karen and his sons. That was like a really, really a big kick in the gut to me. Like I said, being a Laker fan, I remember vaguely, very, very vaguely, him playing. It's just when guys like that pass on, like Bill Walton a couple weeks ago, and Jerry West this year, or this past week, it makes me think that my childhood is kind of like going away. But I think back to those days where watching Bill Walton and watching Jerry West brings me joy because, like I said, I can pass that on to my sons. And now that my sons are older, they get to, ask me questions that I used to ask my dad years ago about how was this guy back in the day. That's a really cool thing because that's the things that I would like to pass on to my grandchildren, which I don't have, and hopefully one day I will have. But like I said, I'm just really was kind of taken back on the other day when it was mentioned, but never heard a bad word about Jerry West. He would tell you his mind. He would let you know what was on his mind, but he was always honest. He had loyalty and integrity, and he had one of the longest tenures in the NBA in basketball, period. Jerry West is going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame for the fourth time or so. Really amazing. How many people do you know in sports have been inducted in the Hall of Fame more than once? Not too many. All right. I did say I wasn't going to talk any sports, but I just had to make sure that I brought that up. Jerry West was one of my guys. And being a Laker fan and a Nets fan, because the Nets was always my favorite team in the ABA. And believe me, they still play like they're in the ABA. So I had to mention that. But I know that I'm going to, probably hear from my uncle, my only living uncle. And we'll definitely have to talk about that because he's as big as Laker fan as I am. Dad, he likes Orioles. So that's why we're going down to Baltimore to watch the Orioles. All right, let me get out of here. But I want to say one thing. I want to tell everyone that's out there listening, Happy Father's Day. Enjoy your time. Spend that time with your kids. And what I usually do is I try to do something nice for them on Father's Day. I'm gonna pick up the tab for food because my son Caden bought the tickets, so I'm gonna make sure that I drive down, and he might drive back or so, but we're gonna have a good time. But please do me a favor, just go out there, have an enjoyable day, be safe, and to all the people out there that don't have fathers that they passed on, just remember, they always live in your heart. They always live in your heart. All right, let me get out of here. You guys take care of yourself. I'll be back next week with episode 224. And we will talk a little bit more sports. God bless you. You have a great day. Happy Father's Day to all. Later.